Hi, Ash. So I'm just wondering, could you maybe give the viewers some more information about you and your company?
Sure. I'm actually based in China, and the company is called IMX Sourcing Services. So what we do is we work with a lot of e-commerce sellers, especially Amazon sellers, as well as people selling on eBay or running their own e-commerce stores. So we pretty much manage the whole process for them, right from finding a supplier for them, doing the quality control on the product, signing contracts with factories, and pretty much getting the goods to their door. So for the UK, Australia, and US, which tend to be our main markets, we also manage the customs clearing process in the destination country. So we pretty much deliver the goods to Amazon warehouses. I think obviously price would be the first thing that comes to mind for anyone thinking of China. But there's a lot of other things. For example, one is private labeling. I think it's a big thing nowadays. There's a lot of courses online, proposing private labeling of products and selling on Amazon or even eBay. And Chinese factories are quite flexible with that, so you can find a lot of suppliers who have very good products, and they will customize them for you, so you can have your own logos and branding on that. So I think that's one of the big advantages other than the price. So you can kind of build your brand from scratch with a fairly low upfront investment.
So
I think there's a lot of lack of trust when it comes to dealing with Chinese suppliers, and it's because of a lot of negative experiences people have had. I think one of the things that a lot of new importers don't always realize that there is quite a steep learning curve when it comes to importing products. Normally what I find is it takes about 3 shipments before you understand the process well enough so that you can put it on autopilot and just focus on the sales and marketing side of things. And obviously there are cultural differences that also lead to a lack of trust. So, for example, Chinese manufacturers would say yes to pretty much everything. Culturally saying no in China is just not considered good. So that yes doesn't necessarily always mean yes. It might mean maybe, or sometimes even we have no clue what you're saying. So I think understanding the cultural differences and especially educating yourself about the import processes is very important. So understanding what the different Incoterms are, like FOB, CIF, understanding the payment terms, and carrying out the due diligence on suppliers is very important. So I think that would be the first thing in terms of misconception. The second thing I would say is in the last 5 years, China has become more focused on the quality. So, I'm talking in terms of the government's focus rather than not necessarily the factory's focus. So the government's incentivizing manufacturers to focus on higher end products and high quality products. And when they do that, they get a lot of benefits from the government. That obviously means the pricing has to go up. So normally what I see is that manufacturers associate China with low quality, but that's not necessarily the case. There are some very good high-end manufacturers here who can produce very good quality, but you need to be willing to pay the price. So normally the process I see importers use is when they're shortlisting suppliers, they would go on a B2B website, they would get quotations from 20 suppliers, and then they would shortlist the 3 cheapest ones, which we feel is the wrong way of going about sourcing. I think it's very important to have a criteria upfront about what your quality standards are. Then when you get the 20 quotes, you see the manufacturers that meet that quality standard. And I think at that stage, you will eliminate most of the suppliers. And that's when you actually start the price negotiation. Sure. One of the things with eBay is it's a more price sensitive market than Amazon from what we have found. And we've seen customers who sell the same product for a higher price on Amazon relative to eBay. I think market research is really important because you need to make sure that you can make a profit on that product. I think the best advice would be go for products that have little competition and go for at least slightly higher value products. What I personally recommend is that anything below $20, if you're an e-commerce seller in a developed country, is just not worth your time and effort, because from what I have seen of the e-commerce sellers we've worked with over the years, the ones doing lower value products haven't grown at the same rate that people with $20 to $50 products have. So that would be one advice. The other thing is you have to move really fast because the online landscape moves really fast. So every now and then we get a customer who's very detail oriented and they want everything perfect. And it's very important to realize that if you're aiming for perfection when you're importing from China, you lose a lot of valuable time in back and forth communication. And if you don't have the quantities, you will probably lose supplier support at some stage. So somewhere you have to make some compromises and see what's achievable and what's not, because obviously perfection beyond a certain point leads to diminishing economies. So that's very important. You need to come up with a product and get it to market fast, because you only have like 12 to 18 months to maximize the profit, and then you need to move to your next product. Because there are so many tools out there that competitors are using to kind of see what the opportunities are. So if you genuinely have a good product with a lot of opportunities, you normally have 12 to 18 months to maximize the margin.